So welcome to this week's Meditech Musings, and thank you to Mitzi and Mary for joining us today, our two case managers from Meditech Staffing. So today's session, we've got a few questions that I've posted on the Facebook group this week. So I'll just go and bring them up, and hopefully you'll be seeing the Facebook group here. I've got a case study that I put up there. And it's about Cecilia. Can you see that on the screen, or is that a bit small? Can't see it?
I can't see it, no.
Because I haven't shared it yet. There we go, Leanne. Share your screen. How's that?
Yep, that's good.
Can you see it clearly enough, or does it need to be bigger?
I mean, maybe bigger.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so the case study, to summarise, Cecilia is an elderly lady. She's in a residential facility, so you're in an aged care facility. Cecilia has suffered from various aches and pains. She does receive pain medication. The pain has never stopped her from being chirpy, talkative and jokey. But recently she said the pain is getting worse, particularly in her joints and in her hands. She's been less chatty, seems a bit more withdrawn than usual. And normally when you visit, she gets straight out of a chair to give you a hug, but lately she's just been staying put. She's struggling grasping the cup. Her appetite has decreased, and on your last visit, she's starting to look pale. This time you visit Cecilia, she's crying due to the pain. Her whole body is stiff. She cannot bear to move her limbs or bend in any way, and the skin around her joints, including her knuckles, has become discoloured, resembling a bruise. You do not have the appropriate training and cannot provide any pain relief other than paracetamol and Nurofen, but these are having no effect on the pain levels. You're unable to move her into her bed due to the pain, and you do not know what is causing the physical symptoms. So the first question, which was actually the third question because we're working from top to bottom, but anyway, how might you address Cecilia's emotional distress and crying during your visit? I put up a poll, no one voted. Do you heat up a hot water bottle or heat pack and apply it to painful areas? Would you use the pain scale to try and understand how bad the pain levels are? Would you show empathy for the pain she's feeling? Maybe put a heater on if the weather is chilly, or find extra blankets for her? Or do none of the above because that is not in your job description? What do you think the answer is, guys?
Do you want to go first, Miss Mary?
Well, I would go with, I would go with, first I'll show empathy for the pain that she's feeling, and then if it's chilly, obviously put a heater on. Use the pain scale to understand how bad the pain levels are. Heat up a hot water bottle or heat pack and apply to painful areas. I wouldn't necessarily do that because I'm not sure how sensitive her skin is.
Okay.
That might cause some burns.
Okay.
But
so,
yeah, I would
So
direct her to go to her GP, or at least call an after hours doctor if she's not able to go to a GP, because like those symptoms that you've mentioned, they're definitely something that you can it's something that they have to be investigated by the doctor, because that's very concerning.
And obviously it's not nice to be in that much pain. So there's more than one right answer there, I think, so that's good. And I think, and as we know in the residential facilities, to get the GP there, you speak to the RN on duty, don't you? Is that the normal practice?
Yeah.
Usually.
Yeah. And so if it was a home care client, what would you do? Would you call the GP? What's the story there for support workers?
Definitely.
Yeah.
First and foremost, I think, would be to actually report it to the case manager.
Okay, so let's if home
Sorry,
care,
if you were support workers in this one, I'm thinking as a case manager.
Yeah, because just in case the client Cecilia has called the office and the case manager is aware of this, so if the support worker calls and reports it again, it might trigger something like a follow-up from the case manager, or the case manager might give her instructions and check if all the things that were instructed to be done had been done. If not, maybe support the support worker to actually apply what would help Cecilia.
Yeah.
Did that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the case manager can check the care plan and provide advice to the support worker.
Yeah.
And what would the support worker, if say they can't get on to the case manager, would they just ring the GP themselves? Is that something within their scope?
They would go directly to community.
They
And
go to,
maybe
that's how they,
speak-
yeah.
Yeah, and speak to maybe the team leader or the support worker liaison officer who is Gada.
Okay, the community department, yeah.
Mm.
I'll just put this up on the Facebook group so people know. Or the workforce liaison.
Yes.
Thank you so much. That's great. Okay. This is still Cecilia. The question this time is, what information would you gather from Cecilia to provide to the medical professionals or even to the case manager in this situation? Would you read her support care plan for more information? Contact her case manager to get a better understanding of her condition? Speak to your supervisor, report the change in behaviour, or all or any of the above?
All of the above.
Say all of the above.
All of the above. Anything else you would do? What information would you gather from Cecilia? Is there what questions could you ask her?
Just before we move on, just for the question before that also is ask for Cecilia's permission if it's okay to contact these like, you know, to tell other people to like, we've got the duty of care, but also to contact just to make sure that it's okay for us to contact, for example, like her GP or you know, to discuss what's happening with her.
Or a family member.
Yeah, and also to find out who is allowed to know, because you've got you know, certain family members might not be allowed to know what's going on with her, depending on who has like the power of attorney and all that stuff.
Yeah. So first
yeah.
and foremost is maybe check that we to obtain her consent.
So you must obtain the client Cecilia's consent.
Yeah.
To take action. Thank you. I love your expertise.
And then maybe, you know, assuming that Cecilia has no cognitive function.
Yeah.
Speak directly to her, Cecilia. You know, how long have you had this? You know, what triggered it? Did you have a fall? So try and gather as much information and background to why this pain is increasing, or what brought it on, or what's making it worse.
So you ask some open-ended questions, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a residential facility though, because she is like the case study is in a residential facility, I would be like, as a support worker, I would be inclined to report it to their RN in charge.
Yes, or yeah, definitely report to the RN.
Yeah. But
Regardless.
also try and get as much information from Cecilia directly, so we can add it to the notes.
Yep.
Because if the facility is not following up, we can follow up and take action.
And so what sort of questions were you asking her? You listed some. So how long have you had the pain?
What caused the pain, or
what makes it worse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could, I don't know if it's physical pain, like on a leg or something like that. Did you
Yeah,
have a
so the
fall?
location of the pain, what type of pain?
And get her to maybe like, 1 to 10 scale, 10
Yeah.
being the most painful, 1 being the least painful. What would you rate the level of pain?
Most painful and 1 being the least painful. What number would you give the pain?
Yeah.
Also maybe ask, does it limit your day-to-day function? Yeah.
Yep.
How does it affect her in a day-to-day? Is it
Yeah.
stopping her from attending to her personal care needs? Or
Mhm.
does it, cause her pain to get dressed? And would she need more assistance with all these basic
Mm.
daily activities?
Does the pain mean she may require additional assistance with her daily activities? That's fantastic.
Yeah, depend, like you mentioned bruises on her hands. It might be something that, like, a warning sign to she might be getting abused
Oh God,
either
yes.
by someone.
Yes. How did the bruises happen?
Yeah. So if they weren't there before and these are new things, and there's like pain and it's getting worse, and like she had pain before, but she was still able to be to be jokey and happy, and but now her behavior is starting to change, so that could very well be a sign that
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be open to it all. Great answers there. Thank you so much. Someone's coming in here, Sharon. Let me just make sure Sharon can.
So we need to gather as much information as we can, like maybe sometimes, asking the worst case scenario and hoping for the best case scenario.
Yes. Very good. Hey, Sharon, welcome. Another valuable case manager has joined us. I'm looking forward to hearing your expertise on this workplace scenario we've just put up here.
Thank you. Sorry.
That's
Hi,
okay.
Sharon.
Thanks for coming.
Hi, Sharon.
So I sort of worked backwards from this. So this was question A. How would you approach a conversation with Cecilia? And it's a bit repetitious, but use the pain management scale to try and understand the pain. Ignore it. It's not part of my role to deal with pain. Just tell her to take more Nurofen. I don't know. Perhaps I should do the pain management course that is offered for free by Meditech Training College. So, yeah.
Ask for further training, professional development, to be able to understand and look for, signs of different things in your clients.
Yeah. Changes in behavior. Because we have, yeah.
And changes to environment as well. Like Mary mentioned, you never know, one of the, these bruises could be evidence of abuse.
Yes, yeah. So I think we've got good answers there that you've covered. Thank you so much. Anything you'd like to add before we move on to another case study?
We can really get involved in this. So I guess it's two sides, one residential and one community, and how we respond will depend on what the setting is, because they will have different responsibilities and reporting hierarchy, I suppose.
Home care. So be aware of your responsibilities for reporting changes in behaviour. Yeah?
Yeah.
Or conditions. Clients. Very good.
And if ever in doubt, your first point of reference is always check with your case manager.
Yeah, if in doubt, speak to your case manager.
And
we're very keen to take your calls or emails. So
yeah, and also, so when a lot of the times, because all of us are out on the road quite often, yes, we look after particular clients, but if it's something urgent, okay, and you call the office and your case manager is not available, maybe ask if another case manager can give you guidance.
Yes, yeah. So you be proactive.
We're all one team. We're all one team.
Yeah. So be proactive. The case, although you may hear some people saying you can't speak to the case manager, the case managers are very busy, but they're keen to support you in supporting their clients. The case managers are responsible for the overall management and care of the client, so they really want to speak to you. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, they are busy. Everyone's busy, but be proactive, and if in doubt, ask. So I think
Yeah.
that's some good advice. Yeah.
And if you don't let us know, we don't know,
Mm.
because you are our eyes and ears there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you guys. So then I've got another scenario. So providing transport, this is this very grey area, this, and it was a very good question asked by one of the field workers this week, because the field work was put into a situation, they provide transport for a client, but on occasion the client's family member, who is not a client of Meditech Staffing, has been asked to come and be transported, you know, along with the client. Are the field workers meant to allow that to happen? You know, it is a special situation where the family member that is asking for the transport suffers from cancer. So does that make it a different answer? And you will come to 3 after you've addressed questions 1 and 2. So I've got different answers. You know, so I'd like to hear from you guys to see what you recommend.
Sharon?
I think you need to check with the case manager if the clients have asking extra services. Because anyone with outside the service, they is Meditech not covered any of the incident happen or anything. So they need to check with the case manager or the support coordination area. So they can, if they made their own choices to go ahead, we not support anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you raise a very good point, and it comes down to legislation, work health and safety.
That's right.
Insurance. The family member who is in the car with you is not covered by insurance. So if there was an accident, you know, in the worst case scenario, it can put you at risk as the support worker, as the driver. You're the one making the decision, allowing them to get into the car. Ultimately, you know, that's what it comes down to. It becomes very black and white when you get legislation and work health and safety involved. But I can understand why support workers who, being of generous nature, caring nature, would probably want to say, oh, yeah, that's fine, no problem, just jump in the car. So I think this is a really good question that we've been asked this week. So thanks, Sharon, for that. I think you're on the money there. Any other comments?
So initial response would be no, I think.
Mm.
But there's always a but.
Mm.
So I think it's important that, 1, check the care plan, know the circumstances of your client, and speak to your case manager or community liaison officer or someone in the office of authority that can actually say to you, okay, yes, we've allowed it because of this and this reason, or no, it's a flat no because of this and this reason.
Yeah. Exactly, and this the support worker did do the right thing, and because everyone's so busy, she had emailed the office. You know, she hadn't had a response, so she emailed the college, and we would welcome any questions like this. You don't have to give us any client names, but if you're in doubt, you've reached out, and you're not getting the response in the timely manner that you need, because we know everyone is really, really busy, you know, providing the valuable services that Meditech Staffing does. So sometimes these things can take a few days to get a response from. But if you need to reach out to someone, reach out to the college, because this is that part of our role with Meditech Training College, is to be able to give you the confidence to deal with these types of scenarios in the workplace. So if in doubt, shoot me an email, which is what this field worker did, and I'm really grateful for it because I've learned a lot as well.
Yeah.
And it's a really grey area, because you'll get people saying, oh, look, yeah, it doesn't matter, it'll be all right. But the official answer is no, you cannot. Okay, the answer is no. Yeah.
Yeah. Another consideration as well is if the other the family member is the support person for that client. Like sometimes you have that the client might be going, for example, like to an appointment, and they need the support person to be with them to be able to go to that. Like we provide a transport, but for various reasons, many reasons, they might need that support. So that
And-
might be one thing, like a consideration that we would look at
Hmm.
in those kinds of scenarios.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could also be maybe, say, for example, and that we have quite a few clients in this position. They may be elderly and frail themselves, but they are also the carer of someone that cannot be left unsupervised.
So there's always exceptions to the rule, and just like the previous scenario, if you don't know, ask.
Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you. And then third part of this was, while I'm at my client's premises, am I supposed to help my client's loved ones with, say, cleaning, feeding, cooking, helping them getting out of a car or chair, if such activity is not related at all to my client?
Gray area as well, a lot of gray area. My initial response would be no, you're there to support the client. In saying that, if the client that you're supporting also looks after someone that's more frail, ill, or needs assistance, and they cannot do it, okay,
Yeah.
you know, like it
Indirectly, you're helping your client help.
exactly,
Yeah,
like,
their loved one,
you know,
yeah.
a cup of tea for that person, you're making one for your client. It's not going to hurt to make him a cup of tea if your client can't do it for the person they're supporting.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, if it's a big family, you know, and they want you to do cleaning and ironing for the family of 4, no, absolutely not. You're there to support the client.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Any other comments? Thanks, Mitzi.
Yeah, no, that's right. If like, definitely no, but if it's a small thing, like for example, if it's just a cup of tea, then it's not a big deal. Like you'll make someone at work cup of tea, and there's no big deal, right?
It's common
But
courtesy.
yeah, it's just being nice.
Mm.
But if it's if you're ironing for a whole family, then that's a different, and you're doing laundry for all of them, or doing like a whole full set of dishes for everyone, then of course not, because obviously they should be able to do that themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah, and look,
Yeah.
and a lot of our clients are cunning, okay, and they will try, okay. So the best way, I think, to tackle when you're put in that difficult position, and instead of maybe you responding in a way that they will take offense, just say, oh, Mrs. X, no problem, but first let me check with the office and see what I can do for you.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
More often than not, they will say, oh, don't worry about it, it's okay.
Because they know
Yep.
the answer already is no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
But they're going to try it on, yeah?
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
put the blame on the case managers.
Yeah.
Just say, look, no problem. Let me
Yeah.
just check with my case manager. If I get approval, I have no issue doing it.
Yeah.
Yes. Good. I like it.
Yeah.
And this comes with experience too, doesn't it? So the more, you're exposed to this situation, the more confident and comfortable you become in rejecting it.
And the clients will try everything to get more than they're supposed to.
Yeah. So, okay, wonderful. So they're my scenarios for this week.
Awesome.
Yeah, do you like this new concept? So what we're hoping to do is that we're going to put out some problems each fortnight, similar to what we've just discussed, and then we're going to talk about the answers. So I really am keen for you guys, the case managers, to perhaps give me some, we had a real life scenario there. We also had a scenario from one of our assessments. It'd be great if we could put a scenario together of a workplace situation that you've managed in the previous fortnight that we can then discuss about potential solutions. Yeah. So that way we're talking about realistic situations our workers are finding themselves in, and then we're helping them find the answers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a suggestion for our next one, because this has come up a few times, and that's support workers not staying for the whole duration of the service, and what the consequences that they might face if something were to happen to the client when they're supposed to be there but they're not.
That's a good one. All right. Well, let's talk about that before, and we'll put that up into a scenario. Mary, thank you for that.
Or
And
not
I think we'll
arriving
keep
at the
these.
scheduled time.
Yeah. Yeah, yes, exactly.
without
And
notifying
we'll keep,
the office.
yes, I think that's in one of our assessments as well, because that's a common occurrence. So we're going to keep these to 30 minutes too. I think short and sharp. Hopefully people can attend or watch the video when they're not so long. So
Yeah.
thank you, everyone. It's been half an hour. Any last comments?
All good. Thank you.
Thank you
I
so
like
much.
this format.
Thank you.